So my wife and I were traveling out of town on Thanksgiving. We were visiting family, and we stayed at a hotel for a night. And I wound up watching a show. I have not been shy about the fact that I hate reality shows. I even hate that they're called reality shows because they're not reality at all. But this was the worst reality show, maybe worst show, period, I have ever seen. It was on Animal Planet. So we were traveling with Zoe, and we thought, well, let's put on Animal Planet. Maybe it'll have some animal stuff, and she could watch it. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm picking what channels we watch because of my dog. But we always would leave a TV on or something. If we had to leave the room, we kept her in a crate, and we'd leave the TV on for her. Anyway, Animal Planet apparently has the world's biggest boner for this show because it literally was on all day long. It was like a marathon of this show, and it's called Tankless. Tanked. It's called Tanked, and it's about people who make fish tanks in LA or Las Vegas, one of those two. I want to say they're in LA. But apparently they make these really high-end fish tanks, and it's this whole thing. And the subject in and of itself, whatever, it's I guess you can make anything interesting. People do all kinds of things in the world, but it was just so badly done. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. Can I tell you how bad it was? Because, look, I know, because I've kind of been adjacent to this industry, at least for a majority of my life, I know that reality shows aren't real. I know it's all pre-scripted, or at least pre-outlined, pre-planned, and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing real about it. The people who are in front of the camera aren't really the people that you see. I mean, Duck Dynasty is a perfect example. I did a video way back about those guys. None of them had those beards before the show started. Like, they didn't look anything like that. It was all made up. I get annoyed about that, but this show was not even trying to come off as real. It was so bad. Every line was clearly being read off of something. The people in their interviews would talk like this. That's not how people talk. It was like a bad Nickelodeon kids show, but these were people that we were supposed to think were real people that were just saying what they really thought. It was so bad. It was so bad. And they would do these terrible, like, trying to create drama that wasn't really there things where, like, they would present the tank to the guy from LMFAO, and he comes out and he goes, "I don't like it." And then they go to commercial, and then they come back, and the guy goes, "I don't like it." And he goes, "I love it. Yeah." And then suddenly these, like, girls in bikinis come out, and they're all dancing around. And I was just like, what am I watching? It was so bad. It was so bad. And insulting. That's the thing that gets me. It's insulting to think that people are sitting there watching like, yeah, this is entertaining, or yeah, this is real. Oh my God. It was so awful. Like, what is this world coming to? It's really disgusting to me. At one point, they had to drive, and again, I guess they were in LA and they were driving to Las Vegas, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they were driving from LA to Las Vegas. Let's just say that. And they were driving in this, I don't remember what the car was, but let's say it's a Mazda 6. So they're driving in a Mazda 6, and there were just all these beauty shots of the car driving across the desert on these, like, back road desert highways that are, like, around these, beautiful arches and national monuments. This is clearly not the way from LA to Las Vegas. They weren't, like, on the highway and on the freeway going over there. They were, like, taking some back road for these beauty shots. It was so obviously a paid promotional consideration for Mazda or whoever that car company was. And even at one point, they're driving, and one of them goes, "Hey, we better stop and get some gas." And the other guy goes, "We don't need gas. We're in a Mazda 6. We're going to be just fine." And you think I'm exaggerating the way I'm delivering those lines? That's exactly how they delivered them. It was so bad. It was so bad. Can you see I'm getting heated about this? Anyway, there's a lot of bad TV shows out there. There's a lot of bad reality shows out there. This was by far the worst. Now, you might ask me, why the hell did we keep watching it? Well, we weren't really watching it. It was just kind of on in the background because of the dog or whatever. And I kept thinking, surely this is the last one they're going to show today. No, all day long. It's all they showed, all day long. And by the way, this is Animal Planet. There weren't really any animals in there. It'd be different if they were like really getting into the science of why, it has to be a certain temperature, it has to have a certain salinity for the special types of fish, and this fish doesn't go with that fish. Or, if there was some kind of animal something behind it, that would be interesting. It had nothing to do with the fish. The fish showed up in the last 3 minutes when they put the fish in the tank. And all the rest of it was these like manufactured drama between the different people. And there were these two girls or two women that worked there. And of course, both of them had these big boobs out to here and scoop neck cleavage everywhere. And it was just so painfully obvious how lowest common denominator this show was. Now, I don't have cable anymore. We cut the cord a year and a half ago or so. And I never would have watched this kind of stuff anyway. But sometimes it strikes me whenever I do get around somebody that has cable, or I start watching at a hotel room or something like that. To me, it's like when I go to a hotel, hey, here's all these channels I used to watch. I wonder what's on there now. And it seems like it always gets worse. I never find a show and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. It's always just these awful, awful TV shows like this. It just never seems to get better. But anyway, I'm just being a snob at this point, I guess. But that's the worst show I've ever seen. I would love your take on it. If you liked it, you and I are just going to disagree, because it was awful. I felt dumber after watching every single one of them. And since they showed 50 of them in a row, I think my IQ just dropped a lot of points before I came home. So I would love to hear what your least favorite show is, most favorite show, if there are any of them that are even interesting to you. Anyway, that was my nightmare of a weekend, watching Tanked on Animal Planet. It's been too much information. See ya.